It's a full roster of sporting action. The Paralympics out in Paris are truly underway. Rugby fans will get to see both local and international rugby. And we also have the MTN8 second leg semi-final clashes. And of course, the English Premier League will also be on. Now, to help us preview the sporting weekend that's to come, we've roped in commentator, analyst, and award-winning sports journalist, Khanyiso Tshwaku. I love the award-winning part. Good morning, Khanyiso. Thank you for joining us once again.
Good morning, Vin. Good morning to the viewers.
So I want to start our discussion just looking at the rugby action that we can look forward to from a local front. We've got the Griquas up against the Cheetahs to get the Currie Cup action underway. But a big fixture as well this weekend is the Bulls up against the Lions. So talk to me about those two fixtures.
Look, I mean, for the earlier game, I think I wouldn't call it a run-of-the-mill game, but I think the game that everyone is looking forward to is the Bulls-Lions. Look, it's taking place at Midstream College, which is a departure from actually where games are taking place in what have been rather empty big stadiums. I think a tournament like the Currie Cup, especially where it stands now in the scheme of South African rugby things, should be a tournament that's been taken to the people, to different places. So I think it's quite a decent initiative that this particular fixture has been taken. Look, it's a big game. It's a Yixke derby. It's a big game. Look, it's overshadowed by big events taking place at Ellis Park tomorrow. However, though, Mziwa Nkosi has done very well with his Lions team. Pure Nomlomo, on the other hand, still unbeaten. Probably now he wants to make sure that his team seals that home playoff spot. One needs to remember that the Bulls, yes, they did host and win the Currie Cup. I think it was in 2021, but they haven't played a Currie Cup final in front of Loftus fans. That loss took place back in 2009. So I think the Bulls have poured a lot of energy and impetus into their Currie Cup campaign, and it's showing. They've fielded at the most quite young teams that have played very well, coached very well with Pio Nomlomo. But Mziwa Nkosi's Lions team is not a team to be underestimated. It is a very big top of the table clash. I think also it just gives off an indication that whatever happens with the Currie Cup playoffs, which are actually quite due, I think that would be probably the weekend of the 14th of September. Well, probably both semi-finals will take place on the high fields. Just a case of what happens between team 3 and 5. Was probably I would think that the Bulls just have the edge over the Lions, but these are two well-coached teams that will be playing exciting brands of rugby this evening.
All right, so we're looking forward to that, of course, and we did say it's a massive sporting weekend. Formula One action will also be underway Sunday. But before we get there and before we touch on Formula One, I just want to make a quick pass through it because you've already touched on another big sporting event out at Ellis Park Stadium. We look at Coach Rassie Erasmus having to make a number of changes to his starting 11 due to injuries. But you get the likes of Sasha getting an opportunity to start alongside Weekend Special as well. And you look at New Zealand and the strong 15 that they're putting up front. How do we see that one playing out?
It's a big exam. It is the first of two consecutive rugby exams, Ellis Park, Cape Town Stadium. I mean, look, the Springboks have tended to have the fortune of the draw in even years when you look back at Maurice Joubert scoring that hat-trick in the 40-26 win. In 2004, we remember Patrick Lambie's last-minute long-range penalty that helped the Boks win 27-25. But however, though, if you look in between that, New Zealand have been quite exceptional at Ellis Park. You look back at the 2013 test, probably the second best ever test played between the teams, 38-27, where South Africa was fully introduced to Bowden Barrett as a test match All Black. You look back at the 2000 test where South Africa won 46-40. Christian Cullen had a superb game. The late Chester Williams, even Dennis Delport had a wonderful game himself. So Ellis Park has been a custodian of wonderful Ellis Park test All Black South Africa test matches, even dating back since 1992. However, though, South Africa has, especially in the past 8 years, have been on the wrong end. I mean, even in other matches in Joburg, where you look at the fact that in 2010 they lost at FNB Stadium, in 2012, which was Ian Benetibet's first All Black test. He's back for his 23rd now. And remember that he was an injury down with a meniscus issue, wasn't announced in the match day 23, but then was added on the Wednesday when he was past fit, having taken part in the Monday to the Wednesday training sessions. Rassie did make it very clear that if you don't train on Monday, you don't play, but Ian has got through that, so it's going to be a very big test for everyone involved.
All right, so quickly before we run out of time, I want us to quickly touch on MTN8 action because on Saturday, which is tomorrow, we have Orlando Pirates being the host to Cape Town City, and on Sunday we have Stellenbosch hosting Mamelodi Sundowns. Let's talk to that, and perhaps if we do get an opportunity, EPL Manchester United up against Liverpool.
Big game, big game. Remember that Pirates, with that 1-0 draw, hold a very crucial advantage of an away goal. In the same way that Stellenbosch FC, having won in Attridgeville, also on Wednesday, they hold the critical advantage of an away goal. So Sundowns have it all to do in Durban on Sunday. Pirates, look, they cannot underestimate Cape Town City. Cape Town City, once they
came out guns blazing.
They changed the tactics a bit in the second half. They came back a far better team. And when you look at Man United, Liverpool, it's going to be a tricky game for Man United. You can already see that there's a fair bit of continuity with Liverpool, even though they've got a new coach on their slot. Man United, they tend to play better at home, play better at home and against bigger sides. But on evidence of what we've seen against Fulham and against Brighton, they don't inspire any hope.
Okay, just the teams. Final MTN8.
Finally, MTN8. I'm tempted to say, I'm tempted to call it Cape Derby in wherever it would ever take place.
Okay, so he's calling it Cape Town City up against Stellenbosch. That's how he sees it playing out in terms of the MTN8. That is Khanyiso Tshwaku. He is a commentator, analyst, and an award-winning sports journalist.